And then bringing awareness to,
Yes, different sides, different
yeah,
layers. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for the big challenge for me is to put the right words because yeah, English is not my first language, but I'm learning here,
You've learned amazingly.
then day by day.
It's a big challenge just to learn it, even when English is your first language, T. So you're doing much better than what you realize.
I'm not there yet, but yeah, but and I would like to learn more.
I don't know that any of us really get there. There are a few exceptions on the planet.
Yeah, you're doing really well, Chi.
Where's
Thank
the
you.
fun in getting there?
Yeah.
Nowhere to go then. Nowhere to go.
Now here, nowhere.
Yeah, I never thought that I would speak English on a daily basis. You know, if I knew that 5, 10 years ago, I've done something else.
Mm.
But that's where the 5, 10 years have led you.
Mm.
Yeah, like what we've been doing, Hans. Yeah, like we talked
Yeah.
about that we attract this group long before in Dubai. We had our fireside, yeah, starting from a couple of years back. Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah, we just didn't know we were becoming friends with you guys. That was the next step.
yeah. But that what we did, you know, evolved to this. We came from a fireside, just you and me, and now it's a much bigger fireside. Yeah,
Much more possibility now.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's way more perspective now.
Mm-hmm.
Due to the expansion.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember would it be call it a math something Jesse put up with, if one person was just being the conductor, we would have one breakthrough a week, and now we have 7 breakthroughs a week instead because there are 7 conductors.
Mm-hmm.
So much more possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
40, 49 more in 1 week. Or 48 more, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone has their own wisdom and their own unique wisdom and experience.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to share that here rather than just listening to one person.
The key, yes, because the key is finding it and letting it go, letting it out.
Yeah, sharing it.
Share it.
Exactly. Not just holding it in.
Yeah, and the wisdom is hidden in the vulnerabilities.
Mm.
Well said,
Very
Hans.
nice, Hans.
Because when you reach the vulnerabilities, then you start to access the authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's only through that, It's kind of like the gate or the door or the portal.
Yep, but then we get to see what's on the other side.
Yay! And vulnerability can look different in every moment and every day. And Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a little ugly at times, you know, it might appear a little ugly at times, but it's okay. We go through that door, and then what's on the other side is, wow, wisdom and beauty and authenticity and the gifts.
And more vulnerability and more vulnerability.
Yeah. Yeah. Wobble, wiggle, giggle, eh?
Yeah, so we can imagine ourselves in any future moment. Just imagine what it would feel like, and like we feel it, and that feeling by naming it. Then you look back from where you are, the future, look back to where you're present now, and just look at all the things that could transpire. So you have that.
It's like instead of looking at the problem, you're looking at the solution.
Yeah.
Or what could be the solution?
Given options,
Mhm.
choices, space. So at the end of my day, I want to look back and say I created closer connections. Just let myself immerse into that, into those words.
Mm.
And watch my thoughts just pop up with ideas. I don't grab onto them. I don't attach them. I just acknowledge them. These are just seeds. They're planting. I found that I wanted to do. I found that I wanted to do something with them way too early on. I would grab the first one and run with it. And that was so limiting, exhausting.
And it doesn't help it grow that you run with the seed.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's good practice just to observe, not judging our thoughts and our feelings. Just look at it and let it pass like the clouds. It will pass.
And as the day shows up, it'll say, oh, here's your water. Water this sea. Oh, yes, there it is. Right? Because that's what I'm doing to create closer connections. Yes. And so when they pop up, we can be like, oh, there it is. There it is. And it only might be a couple of times a day, but Who needs any more validation than that? Who needs any more validation that it works? It just comes down to, are you committed to make it work?
That's how we upgrade our old systems.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, what awareness does. Really, really opens up. Oh wow. I'm so grateful. This is the feeling I'm in right now, just gratitude for being here. Yeah, I'm so grateful for each and one of you for practicing with me.
Yeah, it's an honor.
With you.
Thank you, Chi. Grateful for you too.
Your level of appreciation, Chi, I find so infectious.
Yeah. Infectious in a good way.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It starts with I have to appreciate myself.
Yes.
And before that, you became aware that that was what was needed. Because I do see a lot of people saying the same words we are saying, but they're just not aware of what they are saying. It's just
Yes
empty
can mean
words.
so many things.
Yeah.
Like the kids,
One,
when you tell them
one
something,
thing,
yes, dad, but they do the opposite.
one thing is saying the words, another thing is living them.
Yes. Because we will only know as deep as we are. And of course, yeah, well. And the judger, the blamer, they don't allow us to see very deep. they don't like the awareness.
Mm. Yeah, that's why self-awareness is so important for growth. Self-love, self-accepting, all that.
Right. Just so we can see the unresolvable patterns that are causing
Yes.
the pain in our lives over and over and over.
Yep.
Bless you.
You.
And so if life is only about a feeling, and it's not about a feeling, it's about all feelings expressing.
Yep.
Then it's all about like it's all about acknowledge them.
Yes.
Building stories that match the feelings.
Yeah. That's intuition.
Mm.
Mm.
Like our feelings and emotions, it's our instrument.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's our instrument that creates the life, creates our life.
Mm.
And that's the free will to create what we want. That's the power of the unconscious, the subconscious, that's the power of our nervous system. But we don't have to be a slave to it. We just may have to retrain it.
Mm. Mm.
And yes, that is harder than doing which just like just floating through it. Yes, that is more work. Sorry, than just drifting through it.
Mm.
And what one emotion should every human feel?
Love.
I agree. And there's no way that our two loves are the same, Heinz.
No.
They never could be, nor would we ever want them to be. It becomes our signature. We get to write to the root, we get to write to the words that explain, express the feeling. And if we don't know where to start, we can start with what everyone deserves to experience. It doesn't mean they will yet. Just allow yourself to sit, marinate in your love. Adjust the name if you want to. Find what's at your core, at your center. What makes you stable? And when you practice this feeling, it will become your new ground, the new familiar. And when things get shaky, you'll be able to look at them. You'll be able to see them because you have a reference point. And you will learn that the feeling is always the reference point. It's always one point of the structure, and you can only have it now. Because at any other moment of time, it changes. Or could change. Just a small example of the powerful creator each of us are. And we can just imagine or dangle an enjoyable day. All that could be. Oh, just aware of all. Maybe I could be aware of the gratitude. Where am I grateful? Be like, that's how I would know, is I would be grateful along the way. Those would be my real moments. And I'll be looking for places to make closer connections with others. Together, not separating, not pulling apart, but stepping together. And what you'll notice is that you can just feel in the moment. And may that just expand your awareness of the importance of every moment, just to bring your attention to it, to heighten it, to expand it, so that you may see what it is. And just name this, like where you're at. It's like just to be aware. It's like, oh,
So name the feelings or the thoughts. Or,
you know, what you're experiencing right now.
in one word. Or,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. Okay.
What it reveals that it's possible, and it's like possible, yes, because you are in control to create it. It's the emotion rather than the thing that we want. It's the feeling, not the thing. It's the feeling, not what the attachment says it is. So if anything, just get more aware of your feelings. And you do that by naming them. Become familiar with them. Learn from them. Because they all have something to teach you.
This is so good. Yeah.
but only when the student is ready.
Mm.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mm. Okay, so what this morning has done for me is it's brought more clarity about what a perfectly ordinary day looks like for me. And the increased clarity that I got was that it's about what I experienced to be the most fulfilling part of my life. And that is being with people. I had it. Okay, so let me just. It's being with people in a very heart-centered way. And it's just that it's that sharing of a knowingness of the indescribable beauty of what life is. And that doesn't mean that that's the topic of conversation necessarily, but there's that experience of deep appreciation of being alive. And all that it takes. In oneself and in the surroundings, in one's own surroundings. There's so much of life that we can't in one moment be aware of, because it's depending on where you are, as Jessie said earlier. How much you can appreciate is only how much you can be aware of in that moment, right? And the more your awareness grows, the more you are and are able to be aware of. And even that will change, because there are times when the ego mind comes in and pulls you back. And just to recognize that. And the more you recognize that, the more awareness you have of that, the more you can catch it. And you begin to catch it almost just before it gets too much momentum, and you can pull it back. So for me, to be doing that, whether I'm in person with people, whether I'm online with people, or whether I'm alone and I just have them in my presence and can feel them. For me, that's a perfectly ordinary day. It's not so ordinary, I don't think. But that's what feeds me, that's what sustains me, that's what expands me, that's what challenges me. And then to weave that in an art of my experience of nature. It's a very big part of what sustains me. So my word for today is fulfilled.
Mm.
That's
Nice.
what I experienced. Thank you for that.
Thank you. I would like to practice summarizing.
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to, acknowledge, and appreciate for, uh, yeah, been conducting brilliantly again. And it's a simple thing as put a word on, end of the day, and how that can create awareness, and how to, yeah, we all got to share our words. And but yeah, I can only say that this was, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I learned from it, and I learned from you all. Yeah, I like this exercise. Yeah, and I feel that I've grown a bit more by just been practicing with you guys. Yeah, I could do better, but yeah, I would practice more. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you all. I think I have to go. My son just calling me. So,
Bye, Chi. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Chi. Great
Yeah.
summary.
Bye, Chi.
You all have a wonderful day. Thank you. Yeah. Bye bye.
Um, so I want to pull attention. Allison, your summary, tremendous, and how you ended it was even stronger. It's like you wrapped it all up, and what I was sitting with, it was like, what is this segment of Allison? If I was to wrap it up into a gift and give it to her, what would I call it?
That's a nice way of thinking about it.
And then you said, I would call it fulfilled.
Mm.
So it's like there is a nugget of what fulfillment is for you. That you could always come back to no matter what, to give you guidance of what's next. One, they're your words. And two, it is as authentic as I've seen you. And probably like all captured at one moment, right? That it's easy for us to do something with when they're all captured like they're captured. Now my wonder is like, oh, there it is. What the hell do we do with that now?
Go and live it.
But it's like, to me, like that's the nuggets that I want to give to people. And I'd like to hear what other people would contribute. And that's my way of saying, like, I took it as I opened the door as far as I wanted to open it, because if I keep going, I know it's just going to be my creation. It doesn't mean that I like don't know what I'm going to do with it already. I don't, otherwise I would have done it already.
But you have an idea of the direction.
Great demonstration of that. It's like me working the direction. Not forcing the direction. And in a way you could say like this is forcing it, but it's been more of a like it just it happened. Now I'm wondering like what it's a space that I can open up first time that I can open up to all of you and say, look, that just happened. Because it's those moments of our authenticity, like if we could remember them, we can string together a pretty good slingshot. What more direction, clarity, guidance could you ever get?
Exactly.
There's no one, nothing, anyone out there pointing to you and saying that is your passion, purpose, power, peace, and prosperity. Because it was genuine. It wasn't scripted. Scripts take all the genuine out of it.
Just wanted to say bye, friends. Bye for now. And we'll see you soon.
Bye, Will. Have a great day getting
day.
ready.
Okay, thanks.
Have a great
Have a
trip,
good
Will.
flight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Till next time.
And you see, what came to me was that with scripts, parts of scripts will resonate. right? And they will sustain for a while, and sometimes they serve as a stepping stone.
They are.
But,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
They're part of the learning process. Yes.
yeah,
They're a small part. Yes.
yeah. Yeah, but we only realize that they're a small part once we're beyond them and we've been able to get, right?
Bingo.
Yeah.
And
I
so
mean,
the actions, right? The actions are integrity. And it's like, so if I see people working off a script, I know that they've learned, they're still in a script.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, well, why are you in a script?
And you know, that's you know the trauma training that I did and the release technique, you know, the autosomatic training. That was Phil's whole well, that was one of the things that he came to, put it that way. Because when people asked him, well, isn't hypnotherapy more powerful than this? Because, you know, with the technique, as you know, you go into a theta state, you know, but you go into it organically as much as you are ready for at that moment in time. So you're not led into it.
Yes. Yeah.
The body allows what it can allow at that point in time. And his whole thing was, but hypnotherapy is somebody else's words.
Yes.
And it's another experience. Whereas here, you're going into the body.
Yep.
And the body reveals what it needs to reveal to you
Yes.
at that point in time.
And that has been my struggle. That is like, I couldn't put words to it, but like, that's been the struggle of telling people what to do and people willingly doing it.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And it's like, and it is something, not like not what I'm telling you, but trying something.
And in doing that, the appreciation for it.
Yes. So that knowing, right? Knowing what it takes to do it.
That's right.
Awareness is everywhere. It just doesn't mean we see it all the time.
Exactly.
And I'm lucky if I'm aware of something 3 times a day. Like, what matters is what really like snags my, it's like, wow, why did that catch me? Like the intensity of the catch matters. I mean, it's the size of the fish, right? I mean, not always, but most of the time, if something hits your line pretty hard while you're fishing, right, you got a big fish on.
Yeah.
But I've also had the real big ones. Just take a little nibble, right? The wise, right? They're a little wiser. They're going to feel like a little fish that I don't want. And that's what they don't want that either, right? They want to make sure their food's, that's why they're big.
Yeah.
They've survived.
Yeah.
We just happen to see them at the intersection. And the only intersection we see them at is at our intersection.
Yeah, exactly.
And when we can open up and listen to their intersection, it becomes our intersection. And that's all that life is intersections. And all I'm trying to do is amplify our intersections. Because the more I can give you to aim at, the better we're all going to do.
Yes. Exactly.
And I don't do it all the time. Yeah, I don't. I mean, geez, I got my stuff too.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, it's like that's what's beautiful is we're in it together. And I think to your point, Heinz, is a lot of people say that, but very few do anything about it. And it's not what people say. I mean, we know that.
Yeah. It's how they do what they do.
Mm-hmm. Says everything. Now we tend to judge that through our own lens. Now that's falsehood number one.
Yes.
Well, our eyes are not that, but so yeah, go ahead.
We might judge it, but we might also just assess it in terms of what we want to be around and and
Yes,
what we prefer not to be around.
that's right. It is a judging, and that you could say are exactly the same thing. It's like, yeah, they just have a different bite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like one is judgment, the other is awareness.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
without engaging in the definitions of the two, I could see how people would think they were the same thing.
yes.
And so it's like, okay, I hear your level of awareness here, and all I'm doing is putting a puzzle together. I'm not running, I'm not holding on to one. I'm just putting a puzzle together.
Yeah.
I'm just putting my puzzle together. You're just part of the pieces.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are all pieces in other puzzles.
That's right. That's all it is. Nothing more.
And nothing less.
And nothing less. Because everything is in that puzzle. In the pieces that we see and the pieces we don't see. Pieces that are filled in, pieces that are empty. The lost pieces. There's not even a border on this puzzle. Wrap your head around that.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
the border is your awareness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a cool analogy. The border of your puzzle is your awareness.
It is. It's a really nice one.
Yeah, I think awareness. It's that's why it's like it's 1-1 on the matrix. 1-1 the matrix of fireside. It's like just like to aware, and it's like aware of what?
Aware of the awareness itself.
Exactly, aware of awareness. Aware and unaware. And to me, that's like the automatics, right? And the opposites. Those are like that wraps up a lot into cell 1-1. It's a process. It's a lot of different things. We see them individually and then we put them together. Because a puzzle has individual pieces. Those pieces go together. And so it was like Allison, like in that emotion of the word of fulfillment, like everything that you wrapped inside fulfillment, like that's the beauty of it, right? Is like that fulfillment contains all of it. And it's like that's how the words become our anchors. How the emotions, how we speed up the entanglement of them. the strength and intensity of them. So it was like in your answer, you would find everything you ever wanted in life.
Mm-hmm.
And everything you don't want.
Yes.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be fulfilled. See, it's just our assumption of that we understand what the word means that traps us. As you say, I want fulfilled, but I don't realize that it would have to mean I'd have to see the things that I don't want. I'd have to experience those to find out what it would mean to be fulfilled. I would have to experience unfulfilled to know what fulfilled is.
Mm. Mm. Exactly.
And everyone says, I don't want to be unfulfilled. Well, you have to.
At least just the edges of it.
That's right. Just to open it up and go into it, explore it.
Yeah.
Only then will you find it. Then if you keep searching for fulfilled, you'll find it. Otherwise, if you keep looking for unfulfilled, you'll find that too.
Exactly.
That's the danger of it. And that's where most people are caught. Unaware they're caught there. And or unaware how to get out.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of people telling them enough.
Yeah. It happens so often for me in my work that I will get to a point with a client where I'm assessing, okay, so where are we? Where have we been? Or what's the direction? Do I still have the same intention? Do I still hold the same intention for short, medium, and long term, right? And I'll often think to myself, I don't know, there's something I'm missing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like this is not gelling enough in the way that I expect that it could, right?
Mm-hmm,
that's what it comes down to. But that's okay, because also in a way it's good for me to do that assessment and to be asking those questions and to be sitting with that dis-ease in a way about how good a job am I doing for this person and for myself. And then within 2 or 3 sessions of having that experience, something different happens, and then just all the dots get connected.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so amazing when that happens.
Yeah.
And especially when they bring in dots that I was unaware of.
Yep. Yep. That's the difference of seeing the whole puzzle or trying to make your one piece fit.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the analogy of a puzzle, but that's because I love doing puzzles. That's from my past. I mean, do either of you ever remember learning to read?
No.
I will never forget that experience of when I recognized a word and my brother said to me, "Look, you're reading."
Mhm.
And I just had this explosion of joy and accomplishment and fulfillment. It was, yeah, it's such an amazing memory. It was like now I could take part in the world.
Mhm. Yeah. My belonging, huh?
Mm.
My fitting in.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was especially marked also because it was with my brother that I experienced it, and he was the one that
Yep.
had put in the most effort, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting for me to ask him if he ever remembers that.
That's it. It's like if we're gonna go, they call it fishing, not catching,
Mm.
right? But when you do catch, right, it's we always want the bigger one.
Mm-hmm.
And we can be happy with the one we got.
Yes, exactly.
And we can be happy with the ones we didn't get.
Yeah.
That's why it's called fishing. Some people like it, some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
We're all fishing something.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to be, will you be just as happy if you don't get it as if you did?
Yeah.
There is a way. Probably not your way.
Yeah, most of the time not, right? But then every now and then you strike a luck.
That's right. I mean, every now and again, I've hit a good golf shot enough times to say I want to come back.
One every fourth hole.
I wish, like years. It's been a long time since I've had a good shot. I think I've almost forgotten because I don't play golf much anymore.
Oh.
It's not one of my fishing things anymore. The other thing, it's like my script, right? It's like we speaking of script, but our lives are basically a script that we write that we can change.
Yeah.
And it's messy to change it, trust me.
Well, we have a great shortcut today. Just start at the end of the day with one word for it.
Yep.
And you got a shortcut to the end of the day.
Yep.
And if that word, it'll lead you towards that future you want.
That's right. That's exactly it, Heinz.
So one step at a time.
I'll put it to that. Doing that was much better than what I was doing. Because I wasn't doing, I was just doing my script. Right? I wasn't doing anything with purpose, and yet I would tell myself I was. It was only to the level of awareness that I had. It wasn't to the depth that it is today. like it was absent. I mean, awareness was absent. Yet if you asked if I was aware, I'd tell you, oh yeah, I'm well aware. Because you just asked me, I'm well aware. And I will fight you to be right. I mean, that's my script.
And you are aware of it.
Yeah, that's right. And it was like, oh, and then it was like my emotion is anger. And it was like, why anger? Oh, because I was powerless. And I knew I wasn't. And that was an internal conflict that made me mad. And that was my anger. It's like, oh, so that was always my script. Ah. Knowing I was powerful, yet felt powerless. That's the conflict. That was my conflict. You have yours.
We all
think-
have our own.
Yeah, but I think most of us experience yours, Jesse, at points in our lives.
We do. We all have versions of them if we're willing to see them. We have a dominant one.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
A majority, a tendency, and on the edges is where we can really see them for what they are. Meaning the good ones aren't worth really looking at, but they are. And most of us don't spend much time on the good on where it goes good. So
Yes, and that's something that I found was really important.
Yeah, I agree, and it's like that's why we had 2 gratitudes today. Like that. That's the word gratitude. It's like that is important because it is part of the awareness. Like grateful for the awareness to see that I'm a judging asshole that made no room for anyone else's greatness. I mean, I'm sorry, but I was the only one that could be great. True. At that time, it's no longer true. But man, did I fight that for a long time. Until I surrendered it. It's like, everyone has a genius. I couldn't say everyone is a genius. I couldn't even believe everyone was a miracle, let alone could I believe myself as a miracle. But then as soon as I started looking for it, it changed me. And that changes everything.
Yeah, it does.
And in that, we can see that before that, my tendency was the whole world needs to change, and then it'll be good. That was my orientation.
Yeah.
Which, between the lines, that says there's nothing wrong with me. You are the problem.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of us eat that for dinner.
Well, I'm running low on power, so I'll be going.
Bye, Heinz. Thank you.
You have a blessed day. Love and hugs.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Heinz.
So I'm just aware that you said that we eat that for dinner, and you started off today with what do you want to feel at the end of your day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, a lot of us would, it's that script, right? It's a script. It's our script that says everyone out there needs to get their shit lined up because my shit is lined up.
Yeah.
My shit's in order.
Yeah.
You need to get your shit in order.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, if you think of that position, there is no room.
Exactly. There's no expansion, right?
And if there isn't anything as stagnant as that, like you don't want to look at it, but there is no change. That is putting your head in the sand, ass in the air. That is unaware. That is ignorance, arrogance. And that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work. The only exception is for a duck. It works for a duck in the water to put his head down and get food and put his ass in the air.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, water, but not in the sand.
No.
I was trying to figure out how the hell are you going to make a duck make that work? You were still stuck in the sand. Got it.
It's so funny because I always laugh when I see the ducks doing that, foraging for the nutrients, the nourishment. So we go back to the importance of context, right? Because there are times where your right is what needs to happen, and it's important that you engage with it at that moment in time.
Yes, because it'll be different another time.
Yeah.
I mean, the point of this is to get to listen to your messages, and the way you get it is different than mine, and your messages are different than mine. That's
right. And to welcome that difference and collaborate with it, because it brings the unexpected.
Yep. Man, it's like that's the importance of your words, because it brings your flavors for your way of hearing it, and other people need to hear it from you your way.
Yeah. Because in many ways, right, with life, the essence of life, or the essence to life, is what we don't expect, because that's the unknown. And that's where creativity really takes place or takes off. That's the beginning of creativity.
That's where we begin to believe it, yes. Because we all want the proof of it. Like, prove it to me, prove it to me, prove it to me. Right? And the problem with that is that we're looking to prove our truth.
Oh.
Like we're looking to prove our stance. And so even if we do see it, like trying to convince someone else that we saw it, it's impossible until they see it or witness it their self the same way, and then they connect it and say, oh yeah, it went like this for me. And it's like, yes, now we have a nucleus.
Yes. And sometimes one's got to sit in that tension of waiting for the other person. Right?
Yep.
Or not, you know. And other times you have to recognize that their timing is not your timing, and so it's maybe time to step away and go and work somewhere else. Not closing or not locking the door.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
All those steps.
Yep. It is. It's all of it.
Mm. Mm.
And you really can't explain it, but when you hear it,
You recognize it.
it's like, there it is. Yep.
Mm. Mm.
And that's the validation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like in some instances we call it miracles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, let's make more of those. Well, just the essence, like a miracle, the way we define a miracle is like there's no way we could make any more of them.
Yeah.
They're elusive. It's like they're out of, and it's like, well, really? Are they?
Exactly.
You mean I can create a future memory?
Yes, exactly, Jess. Yeah.
Which is what we did this morning.
Yep.
Creating future
of a perfectly ordinary day.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So that we look for it.
Yes.
And then when we look for it, then it's like, oh, then we'll remember, like, oh, that was that. Oh, it does work this way. Same thing with structure. It's like when we start to point to the structure of it, it's like, oh, wait, I can see that. And then people work to put their own language to it.
Yeah.
And they see more and they see more. And that's the importance of sharing.
Yes, exactly.
Versus telling, which is so much of what I feel scripted is.
Yes. That, you know, what you're talking about in terms of the sharing, I think that's what struck me so much with that quote from Mother Teresa. You know, that if we have no peace, it's because we've forgotten that we belong to each other.
Yeah.
I really thought that the phrasing of that was so pertinent. It really captured an essence for me.
Yeah, it does. It's I mean, it's the same. why we can't have peace with one another is because you all need to change, I don't. It's like, imagine if everyone thought that, which is really what everyone is thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine the world that we would be in if that is what we thought.
Yeah.
Which is what we think. We may not like it, we may not see it that way, but it's like, if we can be aware of that tendency in us, then we can see it for what it really is.
Yeah.
And the ego will not like it.
No.
It will not be comfortable.
It's so interesting, eh? Like, why that?
All right. Exactly. Well, because that's the story we told ourselves.
And that we were schooled to tell ourselves.
Exactly. Which is really what everyone else told us. So that is how we saw the world, which said, like, right, everyone told us what to do and we did it from our perspective. So that is why we're right.
Mm-hmm.
So in reality, it's not a wrong perspective for a child to take that on.
No.
That's why I can speak to it in such a certainty that everyone has it, because it is the structure that we've been raised in long enough.
Yeah.
And so if you tell me, oh, I don't have that, it's like, great, let's have okay, great, Will, you move through that one. That's like wonderful. Where are you at now?
Mm.
See, it's not like whether I'm not, I'm not holding them that they have to be fixed in a level, because that's not how the awareness or listening works. But it is what everyone told us to do and how we oriented to it, which doesn't mean that it's the right way or effective way. I mean, we could, if you ask someone, like, what is your amount of, use whatever emotion you want, but it's like, if the majority of their life is negative, like negatively charged, if you can identify what that charge is and just tell them to aim for the opposite, like the opposite of that charge,
Yeah.
it would flip it. It would flip it.
Absolutely.
Just like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we go, wow.
Just by turning and looking at it that way. It's like, because we had to look through it.
Yeah. So I did that little exercise with the words, Jessie, yesterday. And it was so well received. And her words were, this is so easy for me to remember to do for myself. Isn't that great?
Yeah, yeah. Like those are the ones, that's the value.
Yeah. Yeah. And, she's struggling with I'd say the remnants of addiction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not too bad, a chemical addiction, thank goodness. But it's still a struggle for her, and it's not what she wants.
Yeah. There's some parts don't want to reveal, or some parts can't reveal themselves just yet.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why it's progress, not perfection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Progress, not perfection. And the beauty of one word. Ugh. It's like, wrap your desires into one word.
Just for this moment. And then you can choose another.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Unless you have to be right.
All the time.
Exactly. Because that's the point, is like when it could be, the could allows you to try it on. Which is then it's like, oh, it's this one and it's not that one. It's this one. It's more like this and more like that. And we're just fine tuning our words. Fine tuning our experience, fine tuning our truth, fine tuning our passions, our purpose, our powers. When we believe we have them. And yet being alive isn't like being alive isn't enough.
I know. That's the biggest thing that we miss, I think. Right?
Yep.
It's funny. Like, I think it was it was shortly after I'd started the course. I can remember it was on one of the calls that we were doing at that point, and I was walking, while on the call, and can remember thinking to myself how unbelievably privileged I was to still be alive, to be able to experience what I was experiencing with everybody. And it took me back to that. There's a fable in Zen about the farmer and his son. And it's a whole story of things that happen with the child as time goes on, where the community, is so sad for the father. And the father keeps on saying, he keeps on thanking people for their empathy and saying, don't worry, everything works out the way that it needs to. And then in the end, the very things that everybody had sympathy for were the things that actually saved his son. And and then I thought about my illness and, all that I had been through, and how that had provided me that experience of having such gratitude for being alive. And that was a bit of a different experience to other times that I had felt joy, and excitement and fulfillment. And even when I had actually had the transplant too, I mean, my first thing when I woke up was whether my donor was okay. And the nurse was amazing. They obviously know. And that was the first thing that he said to me. He said, she's doing great. And then I was okay. And then I didn't really have, it wasn't a thing of, I'm here. It was a thing of, how do I keep myself here now?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so that moment that I had with the walking, which is a long time afterwards, where I had this really full experience of, or it was the deepest I'd ever gone in that experience of gratitude of being alive. Takes us a while, eh?
Yeah, it does. It's progress.
Mm. Mm.
Well, thank you, Alison. I enjoyed our morning.
Yes, it was a great morning. Thank you so much, Jess.
Thank you. Have a great
day.
You
hey?
too. Safe travels. Have fun. Have a good lunch.
Yes, thank you.